Tennessee continues to log some of the highest COVID numbers we've seen since the pandemic began. Those who deal with active cases and deaths are stretched thin. Channel 3's Michelle Herron joins us live now from home with more on how they're meeting the need. Michelle.
Yeah, hey Cindy. You know, one of the first stories that I covered when the pandemic first started was how local funeral homes were adapting and meeting CDC guidelines to help prevent the spread of COVID. And as a lot of communities in our area have seen an increase in COVID deaths over the last few weeks, I decided to check back in with some local funeral homes to find out how they are meeting this grim demand. Speaking to us from his office at Legacy Funeral Home, Cade Williamson described what it's like being a funeral director during a pandemic.
I'm usually there after the fact, after the person's passed away. So I hear their stories. They tell me their story.
Williamson says the last 2 weeks have been the busiest he's ever seen. And when you look at the number of COVID deaths in Hamilton County, you understand why. Last week, the Hamilton County Health Department reported 8 deaths from the virus. The week before that, 17. And the week before that, 15. Williamson says the grief that comes after losing someone to COVID is especially hard.
Maybe it's been weeks since they've seen their loved one in a nursing home or a hospital where they can't visit in person. They can't be there to comfort their loved one. And that makes it a lot harder on them.
Williamson understands the emotions because he was diagnosed with COVID himself in October and is still dealing with lingering symptoms of the virus.
Having had COVID myself, I can tell you, I was isolated for 17 days, and it's very difficult not to be around anyone for 17 days.
And while he won't stop giving those who have passed from COVID the dignity and respect they deserve and the families the support they need, he does hope one day this will all be behind us. Now, Legacy Funeral Home continues to follow CDC guidelines with their services. So they require masks, they also require people to observe social distancing, and they also limit the amount of people that can meet at one time. And also, Legacy, along with a lot of other funeral homes, they are now offering their services to be streamed over video so that people who can't be there in person can still be a part of those services. Reporting live from home tonight, Michelle Herron, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Michelle. The Hamilton County Health Department is reporting 5 more people have died from COVID-19 and 177 more people have tested positive. The death toll has risen to 182 in Hamilton County. The county has had more than 20,600 reported cases.